Throughout NBA history, there have been those legendary players and time-honored teams whose heroics endure the generations.
We're going to have to see if they can respond to the challenge. That's what champions do.
These are the men who have found the measure of their greatness in their moments of greatest adversity.
And you know what that was? That was all blood and guts.
And as they have triumphantly faced their personal challenges, they have shown us the best in sport and in themselves.
It's all over! It's all over! It's all over!
When the New York Knicks began the 1984 season, there was no hint of the adversity that was to come. Their hopes were high, and they rested with their superstar, Bernard King.
You know, I was named captain that year. That was really something. It really is. You know, I cried about that because here was a young kid that grew up in Brooklyn, New York. You know, he made it to play for the New York Knickerbockers. Now here he's named captain of the ball club. And that meant I had to take on added responsibility.
It was a challenge that he would respond to with a vengeance.
Bernard King! You're talking about take charge.
He did very, very few things with pizzazz, with fanciness, with a lot of splash. He was like a swooping bird on the fast break. He had that incredible capacity to end the break with a quick dunk, and you would blink because you didn't even see it happen. His release on his post-up were one of the quickest releases ever in the history of the NBA. His spin moves, he had such a repertoire.
To me, Bernard King was the most exciting, explosive weapon in the history of the Knicks.
He was a guy that took up on the leadership during that time. He took all the pressure and put it on himself, and he carried the basketball team.
King would carry the Knicks confidently into the postseason.
I was hungry to win a title, you know, as every player is hungry to win. And so when we went into the playoffs, you know, I felt that I was going to have to take a greater deal of responsibility and load on my shoulders.
And against the favored Pistons, he would do just that.
Throws the foul, yes, and it counts. Beautiful move by Bernard, and Bernard is off to an excellent start. Bernard King once again, and he has now scored the Knicks' last 9 points. Again for King, and he beats Strapuka, yes, and it counts. Bernard King has established a new NBA record, 23 consecutive points.
With a determined Bernard King averaging over 40 points a game, the Knicks fought their way to a 2-all series tie. But in the decisive 5th game, they would see their superstars stricken and their chances suddenly in doubt.
It was at least 120 in there that evening. We had an added problem because Bernard King had the flu. He did not work out in the shoot-around. The flu was sapping his body. He had a splint on the middle finger of the one hand and a splint on the middle finger of the other hand, playing with 2 dislocations. Only the great can tunnel vision and focus and block out pain. And that's what Bernard King did.
King, yes, and it counts.
On this night, neither sickness, injury, nor the Pistons would stop King.
I was at the point I was beside myself. I would say we tried at least 3 or 4 people, and in many instances doubling people, but it really didn't make any difference because he was going to get his no matter what.
Has he missed the shot?
I don't think so.
Here's King over Curidan. Yes! 34 for King, and the Knicks now lead at 106-98.
We were up big going into the last 94 seconds. And then Isaiah Thomas put on one of the greatest shows ever seen in the NBA. He scored 16 points in 94 seconds.
King went for the steal. Isaiah, 3-point attempt. He's got it! For time!
As they went into overtime, the Knicks had squandered their lead and their momentum, but they still had King, and that would be enough.
Lewis went up with the left hand. King with a sensational rebound.
And that could have been the backbreaker right there.
Don't ask me how I jumped that high. I don't know. I probably never jumped that high before in my entire career. I probably won't jump that high again.
Had to be about 7 to 8 guys that was in the lane boxing out, jockeying for position, and out of nowhere, it was like Superman just came above the crowd, and he slam dunked back in. I knew right then we were on our way.
And that's it. The New York Knicks have defeated the Detroit Pistons in over.
As King led his team to victory, Isaiah's heroics became only a footnote to the story of the 1984 playoffs. But by 1988, Isaiah's consistently clutch play had catapulted his Pistons into the NBA elite.
Isaiah has basically made the franchise. He's a special person that can, from a mental standpoint, move his game to a new level in a big game situation.
The Pistons would follow Isaiah all the way to the 1988 NBA Finals and to a 3-2 lead over the defending champion Lakers. But back in LA, Detroit knew that the toughest test lay ahead.
You know, Game 6 for us was do or die because we were going to have a hard time winning Game 7.
But as the game began, it was the Lakers who played with desperate urgency.
Cooper, now Magic at the three-point line underneath the Scott. Scott scores!
Taking a 7-point lead in the third quarter, the Lakers looked to end the game early.
Worthy's got it for the slam.
Got to get going. Let's go. Let's go. Got to get stops and score on the other end. Making a run on us. Let's go.
With the Pistons in dire need of a spark, Isaiah would provide one.
Isaiah, and he scores. Great play by the little guard.
Ignited by their leader, the Pistons finally shifted into gear. But with one misstep, their valiant comeback suddenly seemed in vain.
To Dumars, who lays it in, and quickly the Pistons have come the Laker lead to 4.
Isaiah Thomas is hurt down on the court underneath the basket. I couldn't tell what happened.
First thing went through my mind was that I've twisted my ankle really bad. And I thought it was something that I could just run through. But the more I put pressure on it, the more it hurt.
The Lakers wasted little time in capitalizing on Isaiah's absence. And without their captain to look to, the Pistons could do little to stop them.
It's all hot, baby!
But with the lead and his visions of a championship slipping away, Isaiah would not sit idly by. Against the odds, he would again lead an emotional Piston charge.
He's the only guy I know that just will keep coming at you no matter what. I just said, I'm ready to go. So, okay, we're right behind you.
8-point lead for the Lakers. Thomas with a looper scores.
Yeah, but he's limping noticeably right now.
Despite the pain, Isaiah would rally the Pistons single-handedly.
He's got the feeling that he's going to have to carry this ball club, and he's doing a great job of it out here.
I just kept saying to myself that I wasn't going to quit, and I wasn't going to be denied, and I wasn't going to let an injury stop me from winning.
Staging one of the NBA's most courageous performances, Isaiah put on an incredible one-man show.
A three-point country. He tries for 3. He got it. He tied the game. Here's Isaiah front court. He's got the hot hand.
Thomas off balance. Basket counts and a foul.
You can just see a lot of things that he was doing where you couldn't even believe it. Three-pointers, layups, jump shots in the corner.
What a magnificent shot off the window.
You know, nobody could believe he was shooting a shot off balance, you know, running bank shots and things like that. And he was playing with one leg.
Tries again. Makes again. He owns the night, Isaiah.
It was almost mystical, the type of feeling that you get. And I got to the point where I knew I wasn't going to miss.
He is just showing so much heart and determination for the Pistons.
Give to Isaiah. Why not? Isaiah against Coop. He shoots over him from 20. It's good! I don't believe what I'm seeing. Magic.
That's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life, because a guy out there would sacrifice his body, his whole career to win a championship.
Even Isaiah's record-breaking 25 third-quarter points would not be enough to bring the Pistons a championship. But only 1 year later, Isaiah would finally realize his dream. Winning the first of 2 consecutive championships, he would cement his place as one of the sport's greatest winners.
He is one of those unique people that can do it with that kind of pain. I don't think there's ever been a tougher player mentally and physically in this league.
While Isaiah and the Pistons captured the first championship of the 90s, In the 80s, they had learned their lessons from another Eastern Conference powerhouse, the Boston Celtics. Winners of 3 championships, the Celtics were led by the legendary Larry Bird, a unique player of unsurpassed determination.
He was like a guy who would pick a locomotive up with ropes, pull a locomotive. He'll endure anything to win.
But by 1991, age and injuries had taken their toll. Chronic back pain would now turn every game into a test of Bird's resolve.
You're sitting there going, man, this guy, there's no way he should play tonight. I mean, there's just no way he should be out there. And off would come the brace, and out he'd go.
Despite the pain, Bird carried the Celtics into the playoffs against the upstart Indiana Pacers. Led by Chuck Person, Indiana showed little respect for the Bird legacy or the Celtic tradition.
Puts up a three. He's putting on a show. Go ahead, Chuck.
With the series deadlocked at 2 games apiece and the deciding 5th game in Boston Garden, Bird would again take his team's fate into his own hands.
Outlet goes to Bird. Bird spots up from 20. Switch! Let's see if they go to Person. There he is. Yes!
As Bird reached deep into his arsenal to counter Person's long-range barrage, the Celtics held the game even throughout a bitterly contested first half. But as the second quarter drew to a close, disaster would strike.
Knocked away by Saddles. Power shot the recovery. Bird is hurt. Braun is down, and he's hurt. He got rocked to the floor as he was going to get that loose ball.
What went through my mind, just hope it wasn't anything too serious. Obviously, if there was something wrong with me anytime you see Larry Bird walks off the court. Something seriously got to be wrong.
The suddenly bewildered Celtics were left reeling.
And then he lost into the open floor.
And an energized Chuck Person looked to deliver the knockout.
They know the leader is not on the floor. Someone needs to step up now for Boston.
What the Celtics needed was clear. But at age 34, with an injured back and now a concussion, Bird seemed to have little reason to respond. Except pride.
And here comes Larry Bird. Bird is on the bench. He's got the warm-up jacket on. Listen to the crowd.
Some guys, they'll dislocate a finger and go ahead and play with it. Some guys can dislocate a finger and be out 6 weeks. But to me, I didn't want some real injury messing up my whole season.
Reggie Miller's shot rebounded by Bird, who whips it down the hole. And he is back in the ballgame. Bird ahead of the field.
In his dramatic return, Bird gave the Celtics new life and added another chapter to his legend.
Now he'll take it on net.
Wow. No, but Larry Bird is answering the challenge put forth to him, and he's letting it all hang out today.
We all jumped on his weak back, and he took us home.
Bird with the step on Shrem. Yes!
Most players wouldn't even been able to play. And I think it says a lot about the person, to will himself on the court.
Bird has to hurry. 5 on the shot clock. The turnaround. Rainbow is on that, and he's going to the line.
You say to yourself, how many times does he drive that spike through your heart with shots like this?
But certainly this, out of the pages of Willis Reed.
Eclipsing even the Celtics' triumph, Bird's stirring performance touched all those who were privileged to witness it.
I already had a lot of respect for Larry Bird, but the way he played today, it's just like the stuff you tell your kids about. And I told him at the end of the game, I've never seen anything like that.
Truly amazing. And, it's courageous and all those other things. And he's the leader. He is the leader of the Celtics, and he will be until he retires.
His retirement would come only a year later, but his jersey would provide a fitting addition to the rafters that hold more championship banners than any other. It is here in Boston Garden that the sport's greatest dynasty was born. Beginning in 1957, the Celtics won 11 championships in 13 years, and in assembling these historic teams, Red Auerbach compiled an awesome roster of all-stars. But the franchise's centerpiece was its spiritual leader, Bill Russell.
I think Russell was the foxiest, smartest, meanest player psychologically that ever played the game. Whatever it took to win, Russell would do.
The guy comes in and you block the shot. And then you go down and you get an easy layup. These things make statements. And then you might look at him and smile and say, yes, we did that to you.
Year after year, the Celtics would do it to every opponent who dared get in their path. Whether it was Cousy dribbling out the clock in 1962, or John Havlicek stealing the ball in 1965. The Celtics always seemed to find a way to win.
Guys like Sam and Havlicek, Heinsohn, Cousy, Casey, these guys wanted to win every game, every year. We didn't have to find something external to want to win. It came from within our team.
By 1966, this philosophy had translated into 9 championships.
That's it. It's all over. Havlicek got the pass and he gets mobbed. It's all over.
But by 1967, it seemed as if the Celtics' time to celebrate finally was over. Red Auerbach would retire as coach, leaving player coach Bill Russell the daunting task of rallying an injured and aging team. And as Wilt Chamberlain's Philadelphia 76ers eliminated Boston and claimed their title, it seemed as if the Celtic dynasty had finally fallen.
The thing that I'll remember most is being in Convention Hall. We lost the series, I think, 4-1. And when they knew they had it in the bag, the fans started chanting, "The Celtics are dead, the Celtics are dead, the Celtics are finally dead."
Though they would manage to recapture their title in 1968, by 1969, the Celtics did indeed appear to have succumbed to old age. Struggling to a 4th-place finish, they barely qualified for the playoffs. But as Bill Russell prepared for his final postseason run, the Celtics sounded one last call to arms.
That was a frustrating year because everyone really figured that the Celtics were finally starting to crumble and we were not even going to be a factor. But once the playoffs started, the whole atmosphere around here changed because we knew that this was the time of year that more or less belonged to the Celtics.
Playing with fierce pride, the Celtics outfought the more talented Philadelphia 76ers and outfoxed the younger New York Knicks to again earn a berth in the finals. But with nemesis Wilt Chamberlain, now teamed up with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, the Celtics faced a Laker team that boasted the top 3 scorers in playoff history.
I thought we had the best team. I mean, we felt invincible. I suppose it would be like a heavyweight champion who is 23 years old and knocks everybody out in the 1st or 3rd round. No one can beat us.
Taking a 2-0 series lead, the Lakers seemed firmly in control of the series. And even though Boston managed to work some vintage Celtic heroics to tie the series at 3, their chances of winning a decisive 7th game in Los Angeles seemed remote, especially to the Lakers.
And there's a piece of paper, and I pick it up, and it's this post-game program. And it goes through the whole thing about when the Lakers win the championship, the USC band will come out and play Happy Days Are Here Again, and the 10,000 balloons will come out, and then there's like 10 cases or 20 cases of champagne will be up in the Forum Club for the celebration. I said, guys, that champagne's gonna be really old by the time it's gonna really be old by the time they drink that to celebrate.
The Lakers had badly underestimated the Celtics' resolve. Though clearly undermanned, Boston would match the Laker talent with determination and pride. Playing them even until the waning seconds, Boston would reach back for one last moment of Celtic magic. With Don Nelson's shot, the Celtics capped one of the most incredible playoff runs in NBA history, and fittingly brought to a close its most glorious dynasty.
We were able again to run off the floor in front of the 18,000 people and silence them again, and I know that they were stunned that we really played that well that particular game, but having won so many championships, that pride all comes back.
Chris, I'm here with Bill Russell. Bill, this must have been a great win for you.
Exactly.
I was on 11 championship teams, and I wear 2 rings. In '57, the first championship the Celtics ever won, I wear that ring. And in '69, my last year as player coach, I wear that ring.
Bill Russell has been a model for many young centers who have followed him. And today, the player who seems to echo his spirit most clearly is Alonzo Mourning.
I respect Bill Russell a great deal because of the things that he's accomplished. You know, it's unbelievable to think that somebody could win 11 NBA titles. I mean, he has more rings than he does fingers.
Like Russell, Alonzo competes with a fierce intensity. And though he has a long way to go to match his idol's accomplishments, from the beginning, the comparisons have been clear.
Rejected again by Mourning. Did you see that play?
It's not too often you find a rookie or some guy who's coming in the league with that type of competitiveness and just really that desire to want to win ball games.
Blocked by Mourning again.
5 rejections by Mourning. Mourning! What a foul.
I know my talents. I never doubted myself. That's the confidence level that I have.
Though only a rookie, he would help lead the Hornets into the playoffs for the first time where, ironically, he would face Russell's old team, the Celtics.
Alonzo amongst 4. Celtics stuffs it. Wow. What a play by Mourning.
Boston had that tradition behind them, you know, but we were a young, hungry, up-and-coming ball club, you know, and I knew that, you know, we had the talent level to play against anybody, and that included the Boston Celtics.
Here comes Mourning down the lane, the basket count. You hear people talk about the changing of the guard. There's Parrish, there's Alonzo. This is the changing of the centers, folks.
With Alonzo leading the way, the Hornets would grab a 2-1 series lead. But trailing by a point with seconds to go in Game 4, they faced the daunting prospect of a decisive 5th game in Boston Garden and a gut-wrenching test of their precocious rookie's confidence.
Come on, gang, we're gonna win this game. We're gonna win the game. You gotta believe you're gonna win it.
Let's go, baby, we can do it. Come on, Joe. Let's go, baby. This is for the win and the series. Mourning for the win.
Alonzo, he wants to take big shots. He wants the moment that comes to him, and for a rookie, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Alonzo Mourning ends it.
And I just threw my hands in the air because you think of all the long, lonely hours in the gym, all the years and the things you had to go through, and then you sum it all up and you just live for that one moment.
For most NBA first-round picks, draft day brings visions of glory and a hero's welcome. But hailing from an obscure Midwestern college, Dan Marley received a different kind of greeting.
The Phoenix Suns select Dan Marley of Central Michigan University.
We are very happy to select Dan Marley. I cannot help how you feel. All I can tell you is this: we couldn't be happier, and I think you people will be sorry that you ever booed this young man.
The fans were booing me there, and my reaction was I've always had to prove to people that I belong, and I had to prove I could make it in the NBA.
As he suffered a difficult pro adjustment, however, the only thing Marley seemed to prove was that the fans were right.
To Marley, to the basket, blocked by Vlade Divac.
But despite the doubts of others, Marley never stopped believing in himself.
So I've always been a guy who maybe doesn't have as much talent as everybody else. I've had to make sure that I've worked harder than anybody else and just do what it takes to win.
It would not be long before Marley's hard work began to show results.
To Marley, to the basket, stripped away Marley. Marley. Marley rebound. Marley tip in. That was an
Even die-hard skeptics were quickly converted to Marley fans as he richly rewarded the faith of those who chose him.
Stolen by Marley. The Phoenix Suns have won game 1.
We just saw a guy who was really tough, who didn't back down from anything. And his defining trademark is he's always giving it the effort.
Great hustle by Dan Marley.
Continuing to improve, Marley has been recognized as an all-star and a Phoenix cornerstone.
Dan Marley's unbelievably important to our success. When you have enough players that compete like he does, the shooting percentages, assists, all that stuff pretty much goes out the window. You don't measure Dan by stats, you measure him by grit.
To Marley, can he hit another? Dan Marley, a new NBA record, 8 trays for Marley.
Today, the boos Dan Marley heard on draft day are long forgotten. He has become one of the league's best players and a hero in Phoenix.
It's better than any dream that I've ever had. I don't think I could have wrote a script and had it turn out better than it has for me. And I'm as happy as any person could ever be.
Like Dan Marley, Spud Webb entered the league without a hero's welcome. Standing 5'7" tall and drafted in the 4th round by the Detroit Pistons, he was cut before he was noticed at all. Catching on with the Atlanta Hawks, he faced an uphill battle just to stay in the league.
You have to have a strong mental capacity to put up with a lot of stuff at a smaller size, but if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.
And at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, he would push that belief to the limit as an unlikely contestant in the slam dunk contest. Taking center stage before the game's premier players, he would face off against the league's highest flyers.
So this is Dominique, the reigning champion.
Stansberry going to be tough to beat that one. This is the man. And there's the flare. Now that was power and flare. Again, here's a guy.
Though his taller competitors all seemed better equipped to impress the judges, Spud was undaunted.
I didn't know what dunk I was going to do or what I was going to try. I said, well, I've been doing these dunks for 5-6 years, so why not do the same one?
And now, Spud's first attempt. Oh, my!
5'7", Spud Webb.
Oh, clutch two-hander.
See what Spud comes up with.
Oh, yes.
Hey, what I tell you?
Spud's unexpected brilliance electrified the crowd and captured the imagination of all those who watched him.
I mean, he gets so high off the ground, it's like he's going up forever.
And now his once confident opponents scrambled to keep up with him.
That takes care of Gerald Wilkins, the ruling.
But in the finals, he would face his teammate and defending champion Dominique Wilkins in what seemed to be an obvious mismatch.
Oh, mercy.
But again, Spud would rise to the occasion.
A 360 for Spud Webb.
Damn, I gotta go out with something more nasty than that.
Dominique.
It's got to be a 50 by. He took off the...
Oh! The best of the day in my view.
Take that, little guy.
Dunk after spectacular dunk, Spud would somehow match his superstar teammate.
And Spud Webb comes through in the clutch.
A 50 for Spud Webb, and a deserved mark for sure.
And unexpectedly, it would be Dominique who would falter first.
And the judges have awarded Dominique Wilkins a 45. That's incredible.
Now, alone on center stage, Spud would add a spectacular ending to one of sport's most unlikely Cinderella stories.
Little fella, you get done, I'm leaving.
High toss, lob, and Rivers jam.
Yes, come on now, come on.
Oh my, that's the cherry on the sundae. Our new slam dunk champion was an incredible upset. Spud Webb.
As a team, the Chicago Bulls did not suffer from a lack of size. The obstacle that they faced in their quest for a title came in the form of the Detroit Pistons. And for 3 consecutive seasons, the Bulls suffered bitter playoff elimination at the hands of their tormentors.
Here come the Pistons. Oh! Look at the block by Rodman. The Bulls throw it away. And the Pistons have now a return trip ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals.
This is a team that we didn't like, and they were at a point where we were trying to get. So it was tough to swallow.
Again, it's the dirty work. Detroit wants it more at this point. Time is beginning to run out for the Chicago Bulls.
They feel like they can beat us at will.
This game plays Portland for the NBA title.
Michael, you're not doing it today. You ain't gonna do it today.
Jordan, Robert, and the Pistons want to make Jordan pay.
They do the little things that frustrate us.
And the Bulls overreact. Pippen lost his cool.
We were in total despair. They had done it to us again. They had beaten us.
It's over. The Pistons return to the NBA Finals for the 3rd straight time.
As the Bulls readied for their 4th confrontation with the Pistons, it was clear that if their moment of destiny was ever to come, the time was now.
As a unit, we knew that this year we were going to have to get by Detroit. I mean, we could make no more excuses.
And from the beginning, the urgency of the Bulls' quest was clear.
Dumar's on Jordan. That's a clear out. Nice. Jordan putting the move on Dumar. The Bulls on fire. And the Bulls executing beautifully now. McGuire stopped by Purdue. Armstrong for Hodges. Yes.
Convincingly taking Game 1, the Bulls sent a message not only to the Pistons, but also to themselves.
I think after that first game, I think guys were looking at each other like, hey, we can beat these guys.
As Game 2 began, the Bulls dug in and braced for the expected Piston charge. Defense had always been a Detroit staple, but now Chicago prepared to beat them at their own game.
McGuire gets underneath, has a shot blocked by Pippen. Super defensive play by Scotty. Pippen on the drive, left corner Paxson. He comes up shooting. Yes, Johnny Pax. He's slapping the ball away. It's showtime. Get the cameras rolling. There's panic all over the Pistons' faces.
Having turned back Detroit's charge, the Bulls now knew that control of the series belonged to them.
You know, I felt like that we was going to sweep them. And I said it before the series even ended that we were going to sweep this team.
In Games 3 and 4, the Bulls' triumph was complete. Exacting sweet revenge for past defeats, the Bulls dominated every aspect of the game. And now, it was Detroit's turn to taste the bitterness of struggling in vain.
We knew we were in the driver's seat when they were reacting out of frustration.
As time is running out on this Detroit championship era, the Chicago Bulls are out to put the Pistons away.
It was a great feeling for these players to know that they had such control and such domination of a team which had put us through so many grinding times together.
Everything that they had always thought that they could take from us, we had took it back.
I was always very confident that we could beat this team. And I felt this year when we faced them, we were ready. You know, we believed in ourselves. We believed in the system that we've been under for the last couple of years. And it's gratifying when you get to that point.
The 1980 championship series looked to be an epic confrontation between Julius Erving's Philadelphia 76ers and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Los Angeles Lakers. And true to form, the two superstars would dominate the show as their teams split the series' first 4 games.
Watch this fantastic move by the doctor.
But in the 5th contest, a cruel twist of fate would change everything.
Kareem hurt. Kareem turned an ankle. Kareem is hurt. I don't think Kareem is going to be able to go anymore right now.
With their captain hurt, the Lakers now looked for help from a 20-year-old rookie, the precocious point guard, Earvin Magic Johnson.
Here comes Magic running the team.
Great pass inside to Cooper. Magic Johnson's been the difference here early.
With Magic's spirited play compensating for a hobbled Kareem, the Lakers pulled out an emotional victory.
Lob to Kareem in behind. They got the back door on Kareem, who took a blow and made the basket and drew the foul. And they're aroused in the fourth.
But their joy was quickly tempered by the grim news that Kareem would not play in Game 6.
When maybe the greatest player that ever played the game is hurt, and at the time of his career when he was dominant, when you lose that piece out of the equation, you say to yourself, how in the world can we compete with these people?
You know, everyone thought it was going to be the 7th game in Los Angeles, except Magic.
I sat in Kareem's seat on the plane, and I told the guys on the plane, and you can ask them all, don't fear, because 32 is here.
You are looking live at the sold-out crowd at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It is Game 6, the 76ers and the Lakers.
Boldly, Magic would now take history into his hands.
A young man by the name of Magic Johnson is going to start at center.
And when Magic jumped in the center with Caldwell Jones, I actually almost started laughing because I kept wondering what is going through Philly's mind.
Ball goes up high now, high.
Only one season removed from his sophomore year in college, Magic dramatically announced himself as sports' newest superstar as he single-handedly took control of this pivotal contest.
Under pressure to the left hand came Johnson that time.
Magic's hot and he knows it.
Oh, the rolling hook shot by the young center.
Every shot was a big shot. Every rebound was a big rebound. Every pass was a big pass. I think I had lived for the moment like this, and finally I'm caught in it.
Magic comes inside, dishes, wants Wilkes, beautiful pass. Is he unbelievable?
We played everybody conceivable against him. And here's a guy that, what was he, 20 years old?
Here comes the 20-year-old rookie down the middle. Dawkins went to him and scored and sent him to the line.
It was his show. He jumped center, and then he went down the low post, and he ended up scoring 42 points, 15 rebounds. Magic dominated the play and became a unstoppable force.
Beautiful pass by the rookie.
The title would belong to the Lakers, but the moment was Magic's, as he celebrated one of the most remarkable individual performances in sports history.
It's over, and the most valuable player is Magic Johnson. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship over Philadelphia without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The performance that Magic Johnson put on that night was truly one of the great, great performances. I wish he stayed in school another year. You know, we would have won a championship.
You know, that was still today my greatest game, probably in the NBA, and it probably always will be.
The legend of Magic's inspirational triumph will live forever in history. But perhaps the quintessential story of inspiration belongs to the 1970 New York Knicks, a team not composed of great individuals. They found greatness in their devotion to each other.
We knew that none of us would be as strong individually as all of us were together.
Practicing teamwork like an art form, the Knicks dissected their opponents and delighted their fans.
Standing ovation from the...
We had 5 guys that come from different and varied backgrounds. But when we came to play as a team, man, it was something beautiful to watch because the ball really moved around the court.
But even on this team of equals, Willis Reed stood alone as its heart and soul.
He was the captain and he was the center, and Willis was the main guy. I mean, we all revolved around him, but he was the main man.
The Knicks would follow Willis all the way to the finals, where they would face Wilt Chamberlain and the Lakers. For 4 bitterly fought games, Reed would battle Chamberlain to a standstill, and the Knicks would stalemate the series at 2 games apiece. But in the pivotal 5th game, New York would fall victim to an early Laker run, and then to disaster.
His triple team falls down. We got a whistle on the play, and Willis is hurt.
With Willis falling, so all of our hopes fell. I mean, it was a crushing blow.
I thought I was really hurt. Then I laid there for a minute, and then I didn't think I was that hurt. And I tried to get up, and I realized I really was hurt. And I didn't know what was going to happen at that point.
I was thinking, well, there goes the championship. Willis was the backbone of the team, and without him, I didn't see any way that we could contain Chamberlain.
But rallying around their fallen captain, the Knicks would find a way. Swarming Chamberlain, they would capture the game's momentum and miraculously grab the series lead.
A sensational victory for the New York Knicks, doing it without Willis Reed, moving in front 3 games.
But without Willis for Game 6 in L.A., the Knicks were shredded by Chamberlain for 45 points and were sent back to New York for Game 7 in desperate need of another miracle.
In the locker room, no one knew if Willis Reed would play or not. He was in the training room. The door was closed. Guys are getting dressed, saying, is Willis going? Is he not going?
Busher came by and he said, big fella, if you give us 20 minutes tonight, so we're going to win it. He said, that's all we need from him. He said, we're going to win this game tonight.
When the team left the locker room, nobody knew if Willis was going to come out.
The big question is, will Willis Reed play tonight? There is tremendous doubt right now.
I always remember one thing, that eventually, somewhere during my lifetime, that I will not be a basketball player 20 years down the road, 25 years down the road. I would have to I'd be sitting somewhere in some lake fishing, and I would have to say to myself, boy, I wished I had played that night. I wasn't gonna let that happen, because that was my moment.
Here comes Willis, and the crowd is going wild.
Limping bravely out onto the court, Willis would put on one of the most inspirational performances in NBA history.
Barnett to Reed on the forecourt, right side from 20, jumps, yes! Willis has hit on his first 2.
He hits his first 2 shots, and that tells us all we can do this, and we did.
Though Willis would not score again, he would not need to. He had rallied his teammates, and they would do the rest.
The Knicks are hugging each other on the bench, confetti from the mezzanine area here at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knickerbockers have won the 1969-70 World Championship of Basketball. They are being...
Again, our congratulations. You've offered, I think, the best that the human spirit can offer.